Hi and welcome back to my channel. So this week I made some little Shrinky Dink thingies. It's literally what it's called, Shrinky Dinks. It's kind of weird. But I made a ton of them and I really hope you enjoy watching this video. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hello my little peeps, welcome back. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for my icky fingers. Kind of gross, but it is markers, so it's fine. Pew, 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 pew. Those are my finger guns. So as you saw, this is the reason for my icky fingers. It's because I did a test run and it failed. So I was really nervous for this project from this point because this is not a good place to start. But let's get our Sharpies out and our gel pens. We're not going to use the gel pens obviously, but the Sharpies we are going to use. So I got these new Mystic Gem Sharpies because they actually looked really cool and I didn't have like most of these colors. The struggle was definitely real while I was trying to open up these markers, but I love getting new art supplies to use and abuse any way I like.
Why do you act like that?
Like what?
The way that you act, you don't see how you act why people don't want to be around you?
And I took this opportunity to reorganize all my Sharpies. Now don't judge me because we all organize our own ways, but the way that I organize this might not be appropriate to what you are expecting because this is really hard to organize. All the colors are different shades, different aesthetics, whatever. It was just really difficult, but I did it the best that I could and I think it looks great. And honestly, it doesn't really matter because I took all these markers out by the end and because I didn't want to keep putting each of the markers back. But here we have our project, Shrinky Dinks. So this was inspired by Mariah Elizabeth, the queen of YouTube, the queen of arts and crafts, because she used these in her videos and I really wanted to try them out. To start off with, I cut the sheet into quarters because our failed Shrinky Dink was half of a sheet, so I thought quarter of a sheet would be better. So I started off with drawing a template. Now you'll have to let me know, but I didn't show all of the Shrinky Dinks that I made. I just showed the end products because I was like, well, no one's gonna want to watch me draw for like half an hour. And if you do, leave it in the comments, people. I don't know if it's obvious yet, but I love books. So out of this shrink plastic, I decided, what if I made a frickin' book? A book that's plastic. Never been done before. At least I haven't seen it. So I thought this was a really great idea. So I taped up this shrink plastic on top of my sketch and I began to color it all in because that's the best part, is actually coloring. Spoiler alert, but I ended up making a big ass keychain out of everything that I made. So I thought this would be like the centerpiece of it all because I couldn't really come up with any other things that would, like, you know, fold up, and you know I love functionality of things. So as you can see, the title of this book is Little Book of Quotes. So I put a little lavender plant on top of it for aesthetic reasons because it looks cute and it's easy to draw. And then I started coloring the background in. I'm sure you can't really see it that well, and I'm sorry for my head keeping poking in, like, what are you doing, girl? But at the end, you'll see that, like, once this shrink plastic shrinks, the colors become so much more like vibrant and vivid and dark, which will become a problem by the end, but I didn't realize it at this point. So there's this thing that I like to call artist remorse, where artists will make things in their art that they will later on regret, but it's all about learning, and that is what these swirly things were for me. Artist remorse. I hate them. Instead of living with regret like I normally do, I chose to rise above the mistakes. See if the mistakes can turn into art. And I think they did in the end, really. I really do think that. So here I go, cutting, this whole thing out. I promise you this is the only time you will see me cutting during this video because there was a lot of that, a lot of plastic everywhere. After cutting it out, I hole punched it to give it a place to stick some wire through at the end when I bake it all. So let's move on to the second page, which will be the quote page. Now I wrote some little quotes down, things that have inspired me over the years, things that make me happy to read them. Like anyone, I'm sorry if this is like cheesy quotes for you, but I really enjoyed them, so who cares about your stupid ass opinion? I'm kidding. Now it's time to bake. After all the baking was done, we have this. It's so little. It's so cute. So I started off by taking my trusty nail polish, not to be trusted after this video because it took off the alcohol ink. And like the idiot that I am, I wiped it off because I was like, oh, let's just see. And then it took this whole big hole out of my beautiful design. So I just went in with some Mod Podge, some clear coat. And that seemed to not affect anything, which was good for me, but very bad for the nail polish because I don't trust it as much as I used to. So then we take some little hoop things to turn into wire for the book, for the binding, to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. Now, I will say there's probably a better way to do this, but I was just thinking on my feet, trying to make things work. So then we take our little book pages and put this wire thing through. Off camera, I did make the hoops smaller because this was clearly too big, but you do have to like make sure that you think ahead for the opening and closing, and this is what I came up with. I think it's really cool, and the fact that it opens and closes, I don't know about you guys, this is just genius to me. I am a freaking genius, arts and crafts master at this point. Anyways, let me get the hell out of my own ass, and I couldn't stop playing with this thing. I think it's freaking amazing. So then I went in with my next design, and I'm not going to show you like all of this because I think my camera died while I was filming this because I only got like a little bit done, but I made like even smaller Shrinky Dinks, and I mean once they bake, they're a lot smaller than I was expecting, but I loved it. So right here I'm making all these jams and then a bulb of garlic because I don't know about you, but I love garlic. So here they are after they're all baked. So for my next idea, I thought maybe I should use some dimensional magic like Mariah Elizabeth does. It was my first time using dimensional magic. I've never used this material before, and it's pretty cool, except I didn't realize that it had to dry for 24 hours, which is fine. I don't need all that time, clearly, but see, I messed up right there. It was so hard to work with. But I realized sooner rather than later, actually later rather than sooner, that if you just like let it dry, see how there's like that glob in the middle? If you just let it dry, you can just cut it off afterwards. But anyways, I made more designs because I was like, okay, like I have a little bit more time left this week, so let me just make as many as I can. And so I made all of these precious little things, and I love them so much. So after they bake, this is what they look like. The red boot is from How I Met Your Mother. If you know, you know. Anyways, so then we dimensional magic this bit. Anyways, this house I love so much. I think it's really cool, but next time I would be better about, you know, choosing the colors for these things. I really do need to get like more Sharpies that are lighter colored. So then I took this beautiful chain that I've had for years, and I started to add to it with all the little different Shrinky Dink things that I made. I still can't get used to saying Shrinky Dink. It's so, it's just so weird. At the beginning of this project, I really wasn't sure what my end goal was. Usually I have a pretty good idea what I was gonna do, but here I finally realized, okay, so I'm just gonna make a bunch of things that are my favorite things in the world. And I'm gonna put it all on a keychain. And I think eventually, like, maybe I'll add more, or maybe I'll, like, make another keychain. But at this point, I was like, okay, I'm making a freaking keychain of all this cute little stuff that I just love so much. Like, look at these little jams, adorable. I mean, I will say I don't really like blueberry jam or mango jam. I've never even had mango jam, but I like the aesthetics of making jam, and I love pickles. And then I made this like garlic plant. I didn't know that garlic grew out of the ground like this, but that is what the internet is for learning things that you didn't know before. Now, don't call me dumb for not knowing that garlic is like the root of the plant. I didn't know that. Anyway, so let's keep going with adding more and more things onto this keychain. It was kind of hard to come up with all the different designs because I was like, well, what do I really like in this world? Not much. I'm kidding. I like some things. Anyways, so then I saw these little cards at the craft store while I was picking up more Sharpies. And so there came the idea for these little card things. I think they're super cute. I kind of wish that I would have made them smaller, but again, it's my first time working with this type of material, so I wasn't sure how small I wanted to make things because I also didn't want to make them like super miniature. But I really enjoyed all the different things that I made by the end of this video. I'll touch on this a little bit later in the video, but I'm kind of like scared to actually use this as a keychain because I'm scared one of these parts is gonna fall off, or like, you know, randomly things just break. And I've worked so hard on this that I don't want it to break, but then I also want people to see it because I want people to know that I'm talented and stuff. Anyways, so here we have the final product, ladies and gents. I love it so much. I think it's really cute. I mean, there are some regrets, just like how dark all the colors got, but overall, I love this. It's so freaking cool. Hey, so welcome back to the end of the video. So as you just saw, I made this. Isn't it so cool? I love it so much. Like, I made it into a keychain, all my little favorite things in the world. It's kind of hard to see, but you've seen all of these. I really love this little book idea thing because I think it's really cute. Like, if you're ever sitting in traffic, and you probably shouldn't be reading in traffic, but if you're sitting in traffic and you have to read something, like the little quotes that I put in here, I know they might be a little cheesy for some of you, but to me, they really inspire me. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, what you're inspired by. Anyways, I love this stuff so much. It's so pretty, so cool. We have the pickles. We got little boba tea. We got Brewster. That's pretty freaking cool. Anyways, so, I mean, I'm sure you've seen all. Oh my god, the playing cards are so freaking cute. The black one is like my favorite. Anyways, so yeah, these are like all the ones that I made. I hope to put these like on my actual keys, but I'm a little scared to do that because I'm scared it's gonna break or something. So I really enjoyed making that for you. I had such a good time. The one thing I will say is I need to get more Sharpies of like the lighter colors because when it shrunk down, the colors became so like dark, and like so some of the details are like harder to see unless you like put it up to the sunlight. But I had such a good freaking time with you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed, and I will have to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye. I'm gonna miss you so much. Let's just sit here in silence. Oh, coffee. Oh, my coffee's all gone.
All around me are familiar faces.
I'm so sad now. It's fine. Anyways, goodbye, my little peaches. Oh, I should have done a peach. Anyways, goodbye, my little peaches. I will see you next time. And please come back next week. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but if you know me, it's going to be something special. Anyways, bye. Got too much energy.